Hi friends, welcome back. So today I'm bringing you guys another video, and this is going to be a first impressions video on the new Infallible Pro Glow Foundation by L'Oreal. People were going crazy for this foundation when it first hit. I think Walmart was where it first hit. Everybody was posting pictures on Instagram and Snapchatting it, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty excited, but I didn't pick it up until it went into Ulta stores, and that is where I picked it up, in Ulta. I did get the shade 209 Caramel Beige because it looks like it was gonna match me the best, and I actually feel like it does match me pretty well. This is my first time trying it out, and I wanted to do a first impressions just because you guys know I have really oily skin. Well, if you don't know, now you know. I have really oily skin. I don't really have sensitive skin at all, but it is extremely oily, so I feel like for somebody who's oily, trying a glowy foundation for my fellow oily girls who may want to have more of a glowy look than have a matte look, I feel like that's really helpful, so that's why I wanted to do this for you guys. Of course, this is from L'Oreal, so this is a drugstore foundation. You can find it at any drugstore. You can find it at CVS, Target, Walmart, Walgreens, anywhere that you usually get your drugstore makeup. This should be available. I did see it in my CVS, and I did see it in my Ulta, and of course it's available at Ulta. Definitely left that one out. I did see a pretty good range of colors, even going into the deeper skin tones. There was one that was above this shade, so 210. I almost picked that one up, but it just seemed a little bit too pink, so I feel like if you're deeper in skin tone, you might be able to find something that'll really match you. Like I said, this one matches me perfectly. So enough of me babbling. If you guys want to see my first impressions and a demo on how I apply this foundation, then please just keep on watching. Okay guys, so today we're doing a first impressions on the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Mine is in the color 209 Caramel Beige. This is just what it looks like. I just want to show the difference between the Pro Glow and the Pro Matte. The Pro Matte, it just has more of like a black and red type of color scheme, whereas this one has a black and blue color scheme. The color I am in the Pro Matte, just for anybody who has this foundation and kind of wants to see where they're going, is 110 Cream Cafe. I actually also have 108 Caramel Beige, but this one is just a little bit too light for me. And then I would, you would think that because Caramel Beige in this foundation is too light for me, that it probably is too light for me in this foundation. But I looked at the color up from this one, so 210, and it looked really pink and really dark, so I figured this would be a better match for me, so hopefully it is. On the back of the Pro Matte foundation, it says that the finish is demi matte, the wear is 24 hour, the coverage is medium, and the texture is air light. And the Pro Glow says almost exactly the same thing. The only difference is that the finish is of course radiant. So I haven't used this obviously yet, but I am gonna prime my face first, just because I always prime my face and it'd be weird if I didn't. So I'm gonna start with the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm because my skin is super oily, and if I don't start with like an oil controlling primer, I'm gonna hate this foundation for sure. I'm also going to use a pore minimizing primer because mama's pores, they're quite large. So I'm using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer in the smoothing version. And I'm just going to put that right in my T-zone, just so that my pores are minimized, because Lord knows they need that. So now that my skin is primed, I'm just going to grab the foundation. On the back, it just says shake well. So we're going to shake it. We're going to shake it well. It also says lasting glow foundation, never dull, never greasy. Let's hope that that's true, because grease is not a good look on anybody. So it just says dot onto skin in rolling motion for flawless coverage. Of course, you all know I'm going to use a damn beauty blender. Let's not pretend we haven't been here before. So probably help if I took this off. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it on the back of my hand. That actually looks really runny. It looks like probably the perfect color for me, but look at how runny that is. So I'm just gonna dot it on my skin. It feels really wet. The Pro Matte doesn't really feel wet, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. So I think that's all I'm going to do for now. Meanwhile, I have like 30 million dots on my face. And just with the damp beauty blender, I did already wet it. I'm just going to pick the rest up off of my hand. And I'm just going to dot this all over. It blends out really easily. To me, it looks like it has less coverage than the Pro Matte. The Pro Matte I feel like is basically full coverage. And this is definitely medium. And you can definitely start to see the luminous finish that it has. This color is magical. Definitely matches me perfectly. So this is what it looks like directly after I finish applying it. It's very luminous, as you can tell, obviously. I actually think it looks really nice. For me, this is a little too luminous. I mean, obviously I have oily skin, so I can't just be walking around with like greasy skin or anything. It doesn't look greasy, it just looks luminous. I am gonna give it a second just to like sit and see if it mattes down a little bit more or even gets more luminous, and just see what it does basically. So 1 second please. So it's been maybe like 2 minutes, nothing crazy, but I do feel like it has kind of got a little bit matter, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can even tell in the camera. I'm like trying to look really close to see what it looks like. I think it's not as glowy as when I originally applied it. I don't feel it on my skin. It's definitely very like light on the skin, very much like the Pro Matte is, which is kind of a big deal for me. That's like a deal breaker. If I can feel the foundation on my face, if I touch my face, it like comes off, that's a deal breaker. But this isn't really doing any of that. I did actually pull up the Ulta website just so that I can read to you guys the description of the foundation. The description on Ulta's website doesn't really say much. It just says L'Oreal's Infallible Pro Glow Foundation is a pro foundation with an all-day glow. Wow, nobody would have guessed that. So I'm just gonna jump off camera, do the rest of my face, and then I'll be back with a whole bunch of cake face on. BRB. Okay guys, so finally the rest of my face is on. Literally finally, I finished putting on my foundation at 127 and it's now 250. I honestly think it looks really good right now. It looks healthy. I did highlights quite a bit, of course, but I feel like it looks really good on my skin. It just looks like, again, like healthy glowing skin, but not oily at all. So I really like the way it looks right now. I tried something different by highlighting my chin and I feel like I don't know how I feel. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go about my day as I normally would. Again, right now it's 2:51 and I'll try to check in within like 3 or 4 hours just to see how it looks by then, and then maybe 3 or 4 hours after that we'll do the final check-in. So I will see you guys, well, it'll be like 1 second, but in real life it'll be like some hours. Okay guys, so right now it is 8:25. You can't even, why do I even try? It is 8:25 p.m. I am currently watching, my bed is such a mess. I'm currently watching my video, my drugstore tutorial that I'm about to post, just to make sure it's good and there's no like flukes in it. And I just looked in the mirror and I have to say I'm not hating this foundation. It's actually been, what, almost 6 hours, I want to say? Almost 6 hours since I put it on. And I mean, I guess 7 because it took me an hour to do my makeup, but we're just gonna say 6. And I think it looks really good for someone with really oily skin. Let me just shut me up real quick. Thanks. For someone with really oily skin, this is really not bad at all for 6 hours of wear. I haven't touched up. I never touch up, like I said. And I just think it looks really good. I mean, the rest of me, questionable, but the foundation I think looks really nice. It is starting to get like on my forehead just a little bit oily, but it's oily in a way that looks healthy, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like I'm a grease ball. It doesn't look gross at all. It doesn't look like I'm an oily mess, if that makes sense. So I'm really doing good. I'm feeling it a lot. I can't wait to see what it does in like the next, I don't know, I want to say like 3 or 4 hours. My husband doesn't get out of work till kind of late, so this will probably be on for a little bit longer. So I will probably check in with you guys in another 3 or so hours, and I guess that's like a 9 to 10-hour day, so I think that's pretty good. So I will see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so it's now 11:09 and I'm trying not to talk so loud because people are sleeping, but I've had this foundation on for a little bit over 8 hours, maybe 9 hours, something like that. And last time you guys saw me, I said it looked really good, it looked really healthy, it didn't look greasy. Now it's getting pretty greasy in my opinion. On my forehead I can really tell, and I feel like it looks like I've been wearing it for 9 hours. I would say this kind of reminds me of the Makeup Forever HD Stick foundation. If you guys have ever tried that, I feel like it's a really similar type of look. In the beginning it looks really flawless and nice and healthy, and then as the day goes on it just gets really greasy and oily skin. Still, I don't think it looks bad, I just don't think it looks as good as I would want something to look like at the end of the day. So my overall first impression, I would say if you have dry skin you would probably like this. It didn't cling to any dry patches, not that I have any dry patches, but it didn't look like it was really like sticking onto anything on my face. It looks pretty good when you first apply it. Like I said, the only issue is when you're oily and your own natural oils start coming out, that's when it starts to look kind of greasy. So if you're dry, you shouldn't have that problem. So I would say if you're oily, maybe skip out on this one. Definitely try the Pro Matte though if you haven't tried that for oily skin. It's amazing, I love it. But for dry skin you would probably like this one better. So that is it for my first impressions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you did like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. All the information will be linked down below, as well as everything that I wore today. I actually filmed a tutorial on a look very similar to this in the past, so I'll link that down below. I'm not going to film it again because it's like the exact same look, so I'll just link it down below and you guys can follow along with that. I think that's all I have to say, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.